Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video. This is Ryan Adanda here, and as you can see in the B-roll here, I am taking my dog for a walk, and yeah, so this is through my neighborhood, and anyways, so I'm not keeping the original audio because there's just too much going on. I have to take breaks and talking. So, anyways, that's why I'm recording after the fact. So I want to cover some topics today, and the biggest one is authenticity and maintaining integrity in your journey and in your life as a whole, and how that might even doing that might make people mad, right? Okay, so let me explain. So um besides my younger years, where I was kind of an a-hole when it came to dating, there would be times where I would not tell the truth, right? Or I would tell half truths. I would, skip on the truth. So I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, right? I haven't always been the best when it comes to telling ladies the truth in my younger years, right? Just because I was pretty selfish, right? Um, and so, uh, maybe that's other guys, your cases, or maybe you guys have been noble and maintained your integrity every single week, year, year of your life, right? But if you're going to be honest with yourselves, we've all found ourselves, either telling white lies, either telling lies that can hurt people, etc. Right? But overall in life, to maintain your reputation as a man, right? And I'm talking about like the serious stuff. Maintaining your honesty and your and maintaining good nature in general is extremely important, you guys. And so like I know that's why a lot of you guys follow my channel, because I stand out in that way. I try not to give off any like sort of guru vibes. This is my real life that you're living. Actually, I do want to mention something in the B-roll. I don't know if you saw that lady, but she said, "Oh, you're crazy, walking your dog out here." And I know I'm taking a chance, right? Um, Walking my dog out here, just because there's stray dogs, there's territorial, etc. But like, I just needed to get him out of the house. You know what I mean? I don't do it all the time because, yeah, I am taking a chance. But I know that I know my dog's nature, and my dog's not gonna like. I mean, he'll defend himself, but he's not looking for fights. Just like I'm not looking for fights, right? Okay, so back to the topic. So, a lot of you guys follow me because I'm real, because I keep it honest, man. Like I don't sugarcoat nothing. If there's ongoing stuff, like I might not tell you everything just to not shoot myself in the foot, especially when it comes to like dating. But if something doesn't work out, I'll explain why it didn't work out. And I will touch on that a little bit. You guys have heard me maybe say that a couple times. The biggest reason I don't work out with girls here is because I'm not willing to simp. I'm not willing to tell them everything that they want to hear. And I'm willing to set boundaries and red lines for certain things. Whether it's like I don't want to completely just enter their lives in a certain way, right? I want to ease into things, right? And things move fast down here in Latin America when it comes to dating, right? Well, for the most part, there can be exceptions, right? And I'm actually my next video should be the dating video. It might be like one more after. So keep on that video, you guys. But anyways, so also like touching back on my relationship back in the US, right? I was finding myself to become a simp, right? Which means that I wasn't telling the truth, or I was just agreeing with her on certain things that I didn't even agree with her on, just to avoid arguments and stuff, right? And I did that far too much, right? Just because I was just like, man, I was just so sick of clashing, like intellectually on certain things we wouldn't agree about, with projections of life, of our lives, like, you know, and she was all like, I don't want kids. And I'm like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Like, do you understand what that means for the long run? Stop thinking 1, 2, 3 years from now. I'm saying think about 30, 40, 50 years from now. We need to take this serious. And if we're going to take this serious, we need to be on a good page. You know what I mean? Um, and so anyways, even in the US, right? Like I would crash with her, right? And you know, there'd be times where I know it's not healthy, but like she would stop talking to me for a few days at a time, if not even a week or a couple of weeks at a time, right? That's what I'm saying, man. My relationship in the US was effed up, man. And like because she would get so offended, right? It was I'm so offended, I'm so offended, I'm so offended. But then you know what? Afterwards, when she would come back, when she would roll back, she would respect me more, right? It would take a while, right? You know, and there's things that she never dealt with in her life, right? That's why she was just like, she was so much more worried about being correct than she was about like maintaining the peace, keeping a healthy projection for our relationship. And this is a lot of you guys, you know, and I've seen this play out with my friends too, right? That, you know, a lot of women they just want to be correct. They want to be right. They want to be this or that, right? In the West, but also here too. You know what I mean? Um, and instead of like thinking about certain situations logically and you know, and long term, they're just so worried about short term and just like, oh, I have to be correct. I have to put him in his place. I have to do this. And you know, I wouldn't budge either because I know that I would be well right. And she would, you know, she would eventually come around and be like, look, uh you know, I'm actually glad that you said what you needed to say because you are correct, right, about certain things. And I was like, look, and that's why, you know, I found myself in that situation here a few times as well. You know, just you know, because these girls around the world, man, and it's not just a Western thing, it's anybody who has access to the internet, right? They know how many options that they have, right? So like if they're done with you, like, you know, they know that they can just hop online. Now you can't as a guy, unless you're a super fucking stud Chad or whatever. You're Ronaldo in the flesh, you know. You know, like it's gonna be a lot harder for you, or you're gonna have to do something interesting, have a big talent, be on your fucking A game when it comes to your body and all this shit. Right. So anyways, so like it's important to maintain your integrity because you maintain respect in the long term, right? People may disagree with you in the short term, but when they come around and be like, hey, look, I may not disagree with this, or I may not agree with this guy, but guess what? He's at least going to be honest, and he's at least going to tell me how he feels, right? And which is the same with a lot of you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't agree with me all the time, right? But you know that I'm not going to BS you, right? And you guys, I mean, you hit me up in email and tell me this. You hit me up on Instagram and tell me this, and you know, I'm not gonna say it's flattering because it's who I've been, but you know, it's really sad that there's so few of us, right? And you know, the reason I'm bringing up this topic up in this walk and talk is that I don't shy away from real life experiences. You know, you guys would feel uncomfortable going through this neighborhood, and a lot of you would. You know, and I don't care, man. Like, yeah, I am taking maybe more risks and stuff, and like literally right now, there's dogs yapping from their freaking houses and stuff. So that's why I'm not using the original audio either. But I was still talking about the same stuff essentially. Um, but you know, your honesty and your integrity is gonna piss people off, not just ladies. It'll piss people. It'll piss employers off. And let me tell you a story. So, because I'm a straight goon, right? Um, it would have been three, you know, maybe yeah, around 3 years ago. Before I worked for the state, I worked for the school district in my city, right? And then we had an awful boss, a terrible boss. He ended up on the news, right? Because he was such a terrible boss to so many people that he was plastered all over the news, and he arguably one of the worst bosses in the entire state, you know. I might even throw up a news article here, just if I remember, just so you guys can see it. Cause yeah, I'm petty. I still hold that against that man, cause he was an awful man. Like I hate false accusations, right? Against anybody, men, women. I hate false accusations, but these were not false accusations. He was an extreme sexist. He was he was a not an in the closet racist, but his actions played out racist. Maybe he didn't have racist stuff coming out of his mouth, but he would deny people opportunities. He would threaten people. He threatened me and my job. Um, so anyways, so Tim, go fuck yourself if you ever fucking see this shit. You know what I mean? And guess what? So anyway, I want to tell you that story. So he threatened me, right? Well, okay, actually here, let's back up. So he was such a piece of garbage that he literally like talked down to us and screamed at us for something that was his fault, but he wanted to blame it on his team, right? We worked under this dude. He was the executive director of communications, right? Total piece of garbage, right? And he screamed at our female employees and I said, we had a meeting, like I think like the next day, and you said, you know what, I don't appreciate that shit. We don't do that shit here. I'm a real Madisonian. You're not from my city, and you're not going to treat us like that, right? So then he called me into a meeting later, like a week or two later, and then he threatened me. He said, I don't know if there's going to be enough budget for you in your position. I was like, okay, dog, shit, you want to go at it? Shit, I'm part of the union. What the fuck you mean, All right. Like, all right, let's do it then. Let's do it, homie. Shit, I mean, fuck it. You want to threaten me? Come on. And then guess what? And then, at the end, I didn't say all that, but at the end of the meeting, I was pulled in by my supervisor, and she wasn't the best either. She was pretty garbage herself. And but the executive director over our department, he was the terrible one, right? And so anyways, at the end of the meeting, they said, do you understand what's going on here? And I said, yeah, I understand. Do you guys understand? Because I don't think that you learned a single thing here. There needs to be respect in this department, right? And I know I'm a total fucking goon, man. I shouldn't have said none of that, right? I'm on the bottom of this, but guess what? It was more important to me, even than my own job, even than my own well-being, to keep the peace, right? To make sure that my fellow coworkers aren't going to be depressed and anxious, right? And I needed them to know as women that I was going to stick up for them, right? And again, this is not a case of false accusations. I saw this shit all go down, right? You know what I mean? So here I'm actually running because there's a dog coming up in the B-roll. But then he stops there because that's the end of his territory. I think he would have been a nice dog, by the way. Anyways, so anyways, man, I maintained my integrity. I almost lost my job because of it. And in hindsight, I actually quit. And then because he continued his horrible attitude, not just to us, but to other folks too that he worked with, not even part of the district. I'm talking about news reporters, journalists, you know what I mean? Just a complete piece of garbage. And there's more accusations of sexism and racism, and it was all true. And I saw this play out, right? And so anyways, this guy was, just complete nonsense, right? But in those times I was like, look, man, it's more important for me to be real and to stick up for the people I worked with for a good 4 years at that point. And then we all quit, right? And thank God, he between our supervisor and him, oh man, dude, we were spiraling out of control. Our mental health was going out of control. I was on wit's end. I was just like, dude, this is effed up. How is he even here? I could do a better job than him, and I'm technically on the bottom. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, dude, and then it was just disgusting how much money he was making too above us, and he didn't even do anything. He was garbage, dude. He wasn't even talented at even the little stuff, Anyways, so I'll get off of that, but and then you know what? God came around, or a higher power came around, and then he ended up getting fired, right? Because there were hot mic moments that he did all that treating us like all like shit, and then treating reporters like stuff like the same, and he was I guess you could say, and I don't like overusing this term because it's far overused for women in like in the West, right? They'll just say like even if you have a simple disagreement, oh, you're just emotionally abusive. No, but this guy actually was on a workplace level, right? So I can only imagine his relationships. You know what I mean? Um, so anyway, man, like it was important for me to just like stick up and be honest, be myself through that whole situation, right? And and even to this day, man, like I was just okay, looks like we're coming up at the end here of this video. Let me real quick. Okay. So, just to get my timing right. Okay, so yeah, but okay, so let's fast forward to today, just so you guys get a little bit more of my history, right? I've always been this guy, to try to keep it 100, right? Um, and sometimes it's F me over with relationships in my job place, but guess what? I can go to my grave and be like, look, I stuck up for people. I didn't, in this case, in my channel now, I'm not going down the guru route. Even if I help some of you guys with residency, I'm going to give you fair prices. Um, I hate, I hate people that are overcharging, right? I'm not going to name them my name. I might one day though, because I'm a straight goon, right? But like, look, man, like I don't like screwing over foreigners. I don't like screwing over locals. I don't like, I don't like, truly shitty men like the guy I was just talking about to be moving around the world and thinking that you're going to be any kind of if you're not going to be a gentleman here. And again, I'm not talking about breaking hearts, man. I know relationships will end. I've literally had a few that ended myself, right? I didn't want them to, but they just did, and they couldn't handle my truth telling. But and when I say that, you guys, I don't try to be an asshole about anything, right? But if there's some truths that have to be told, I'm gonna tell them. You know what I mean? To these women. And if they can't handle it, then they can't handle it. Right? And because like I said in another video, like, look, man, as far as I'm concerned, like they're in competition to be my lady. You know what I mean? To be the mother of my children. I'll take my time. I'm here for life, and they know that, right? So they might try to get certain things out of me, or they might try to dick me around or something like that. I'm like, look, man, this is how it's gonna be. This is how like I want my life to play out. If you don't want it to do that, or if you're gonna be too offended, just like Western women are, like offended at absolutely everything. Oh my God, I'm from the I'm offended states of America. That's what I put in the post the other day. Oh my God, dude. Oh, I'm the worst, right? I overtell the truth. Anyways, but okay, I guess I have to wrap this up. Yeah, the end of the B-roll is coming. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, yeah, I guess I'll just keep this rolling here. What I'm trying to say, even though we run out of B-roll, is that, the only reason I think I even have followers is because, I try to be as honest as I can be. And I know that, like, here, in fact, here, let me read a quote. Oops, sorry, you guys. Oh, dang, did I just close all this out? I'm sorry, you guys. If I can find it quick here, I'll try. Anyways, this is from the interview, or the Jose Arteaga interview, where he interviewed me, right? And go on his channel. It's Jose Arteaga Travels, right? I'm sorry, you guys. I had this pulled up. I don't know why I closed it out. But anyways, it was somebody commenting in and just saying that essentially that I was a breath of fresh air, right? Actually, there's a couple comments here. And again, I don't mean to say this to float my boat, to hear a bunch of positive feedback. But these are real people who are commented in that, when he did the interview with me, they're just like, dang man, like he's a 100, like they could tell I'm not just a guru or whatever. Literally, okay, one person said, what a breath of fresh air, thank you for your efforts, you are appreciated. Yeah, great exchange between you and Ryan. I subscribe to his channel and look forward to learning more about your life in Paraguay. Thanks to you both. Then the next one, yeah, best of luck to Ryan. We also moved from Madison to Merida. That was really cool. A fellow Madisonian escaping the trap, right? And I actually like this comment. I've not watched television regularly in years. I'd rather invest my leisure time in real people's lives, right? That I mean, you actually know what's funny about that is, like, as a kid, right? I was always like, man, I want to be on TV, right? I want to be on TV one day, right? And I always thought, you got to be a singer, actor, something like that, right? And ironically, I actually might go record with some of the best artists here in Ipacaraí, because I am a singer and an artist. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. Oh, this comment, I really appreciate it. And this person just subscribed to my channel. This is an interview of a real person that is just putting it out there. I am so sick and tired of all the censorship in US media. We all know life has ups and downs on a personal level, but the media over here in the USA puts such a spin on things that we are always breaking our necks to try to keep up with the so-called good life, right? The American #1 good life. Oh my God, nothing's better than America, right? And she continues, right? I think it's a she, yeah, Diana. In reality, I think more people are sick of the cycle of work to work for more stuff, and in the end, all your stuff is stuff. Ugh. But I digress. Thank you, Jose, for always being real and showing the other side of things. Exactly. Like, that's why I linked with Jose too, man, because he has a story of adversity. He's a real human being out here. He's the same off camera as he is on camera. Just like I try to be, you know what I mean? And there's other really nice comments too as well. I guess just the last one I'll mention. Thanks, Jose. I sent the link to my mom so she can start to understand why her son is making his home with his wife in Mexico, right? And you can replace Mexico with Paraguay, anywhere in the world, right? That you're gonna live a better life, right? So anyways, very flattering comments. And I'm not reading this over to flatter myself, right? I think that's what you say. I don't know, but you guys know what I mean. But actually here, I know I'm continuing a little while, but there's one, in fact, the video I just released, let me go back. It's the men are giving up. Moving abroad is the only answer. It's actually a reaction video. I just released this one. But I do want to read a comment here, you guys. And so, okay. Okay, so I'll just read the description just so you know what I'm referring to here. So I reacted to this video called his channel Moon. He does short documentaries. And anyway, I did a reaction to it. And in the description, I put, join us for a reaction video that addresses the men giving up crisis in the USA and the Western world. I can relate to many of these themes here, as I was a guy back in the States that felt left behind by a society that did not value me. So I said, hey, dum-dum, wake up and move to your homeland. And well, I did just that. Okay, so that's the description I put under the video. And then so you guys do the same. Hope you enjoy. That's the description under the video, just so you have a little more context, right? Anyway, so just want to read this comment here. God damn, man, why does YouTube make it so fucking hard to find comments? Okay. Okay, yeah, this one. And I'm sorry if I'm rereading this stuff. I hope I'm not overstepping by rereading this stuff. But anyways, Dam Dom C. Anyway, says, I was 3 times already in Paraguay. Last time for 6 months, and already have my residency bank account and so on. But I am struggling to make the last big step to free myself out of my comfort zone here in Germany, even with the knowledge of the economy that is crashing right now. I know there's no perfect moment to go, and my heart is pulling me back to Paraguay. Do you have any advice to free, to essentially to free myself from the mental pressure of failing? Right. So I know this is kind of getting into something a little bit different, but I want to end this video just reading how I responded to it, because ultimately yes, we're talking about integrity and honesty here, but I want to read the honest answer I gave this guy, because it is the journey that I'm taking, the realizations I'm having in real time, right? And I would have probably not answered this even the best 1 or 2 months ago. Yeah, and another person said they struggle with mental pressure too. Yeah, you will have moments of regrets and moments of joy roller coaster for a long time. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so this is just me again, just being as honest as I possibly can. And I said, and this is half the reason why a lot of you guys subscribe to my channel, but I'll just read it. So I said, I feel that pressure as well. That of failing, right? Of failing, right? And I said, so yeah, I said, Domsi, I feel that pressure as well, but I'd start with the mind shift. See, us Westerners think that if we ever have to go back, that means that we're failing. You can't look at it that way. I literally felt that way my first 2 months here as well. Now, after 100 days, I see it all differently. If I had to go back to the USA for a couple months, for example, to stack bread and then come right back, then that's okay. Because guess what? Every week, every month that you're here, you are winning. You're building skills and making invaluable connections along the way. Then I continue. Paraguay was my home since I was born. It was when I was growing up, and it is now. And it will be in the future, even when I wasn't here physically. Put it in your heart as well as your home. Even though you're not here physically, it sounds like you're doing everything in your power to get back here ASAP. Now, the last side note is, please, and I'll give this advice to anybody, please don't start a family until you're a bit older and have a more solid, stable life. I'm in the same category as I'm building myself down here as well. I'm lucky to have family that will look after my dog, my little guy, tomorrow if I needed to go back. I realize that's not everybody's case, nor does everybody have a dog. But I urge you to shift your mindset. First off, trust in yourself. Buy yourself some time in this world. Sign a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month lease, a year lease. Pay it all off at the beginning and forget about it. And do your best to figure things out in the meantime. Best of luck to you, my friend. Okay, so I'm not a life coach, right? I'm not a mental health professional, right? I'm just a guy who's lived and is living this life. And I wanted to end it with that because it's the most honest advice I could possibly give. And we do, us Westerners, we need a mind shift, dude. We always think we're failing, which is the reason why I covered this essentially mental health video that has a lot of mental health aspects to it. Men are giving up, and well, actually that's how I named my video. Men are giving up, moving abroad is the answer. The original video is called Men Are Slowly Giving Up and Nobody Cares. And I do agree with that. I do agree with that statement. Nobody cares in the West. If you start failing, Like you might have some family members that might step in for a little bit and help you for a little bit here and there. Unless they're total coddling you as some parents and they just let you exist in their basement for years on end and you're not even looking for a job and you're just gaming it up and becoming a fucking incel. I'm not talking about those guys, but most decent parents, if they are gonna like let you back in their house or hold or something, like respect that and just like look for your job, make sure that you're doing well by them, all that stuff, right? But like like the nobody cares part, like on a societal level, no, nobody cares. Women don't care. Your job doesn't care. I literally the story I told. And if you try to maintain your honesty and integrity, that could further put you in a precarious situation, right? But you'll at least be able to tell yourself, you know what? I tried to be as honest and maintain my integrity throughout the most important moments in my life and through my whole life, right? So you guys, I think I'm gonna end it there. I want to just thank you guys so much for following my channel, for hitting me up on a daily basis. I get emails and Instagram messages from you guys, and you're like, man, you're like, dude, I don't even, I mean, like there's nobody like you. And for me to hear that on my end, it really means a lot. Truly, it does. Um, you know, so anyways, you guys, I'm just really thankful for you guys. And just keep on your path as good as you can. Try to have certain mind shifts. If you think like this young man, you're probably a young man, that you think that you're failing or you're not, it might not all work out 100%, 1,000,000% perfect. But try to give yourself some time in this world. Try to give yourself 6 months, or try more than that. Try at least like 9 months to 12 months. 6 months can fly. I mean, this last 3 months flew, right? So 6, at least try to make it like 9 to 12 months. You know what I mean? If you got to go back, then you go back for a while, right? But you'll have already established yourself. You'll have already cultured yourself. You'll already have improved in language. You'll have made invaluable connections. You're not losing, you guys, if you have to go back. And believe me, this is the hard stuff that I've had to ask myself too. Right? My dog can never go back. Now, again, luckily, he's a very loving dog. He's a very adaptable dog. So even if I have to go back for a couple months or something like that in the future, I know my family is going to be able to take care of him, and I've already had these conversations with them, etc. Hell, even maybe some of you guys would take care of him. He's a great kid, right? But I understand where that fear comes from, and in fact, I guess the last thing I will say is that fear that you have of failing is what is the reason why so many men don't even start. And so many people don't even start, right? But especially guys, because you have that deep seated fear of being looked at as a failure, right? So you won't even think about moving abroad, right? Or you have this astronomical number in your mind, like, oh, I need at least $150,000 to move abroad, right? And I'm like, bro, $150K. I mean, yeah, that'd be wonderful, but that you don't need that much, like, dude, like you could get a year's worth of life here for like 15, 20K. You know what I mean? Then I don't promote it, but like, if you at least have good credit, you could at least have backups on credit cards and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Again, I don't promote that stuff, but like, I'm just saying that, like, yeah, take care of your business back home for sure. Make sure that you're not coming here in a super precarious situation, but a lot of times the astronomical number that you have in your head is not, it doesn't need to be that high, right? So anyways, you guys, and again, I will say, I know I keep going and going, but I don't agree with the whole plan B concept, right? The just keep it in my back pocket until I'm 55, 65 years old. Like when I get residency and all that, like, fight as hard as you possibly can to make this your home, right? Not just your retirement plan. Now, is it a good retirement plan to get residency? Oh, absolutely. Or yeah, absolutely. That was a wrong gesture. Absolutely. It's a good it's a great retirement plan. In fact, it's the best retirement plan. Right. You know, especially if you're not that good of a saver. Okay, well then your Social Security, and if you have a pension, which a lot of us don't, but I know maybe a lot of Gen Xers do or something like that, and boomers and stuff do, like, you can survive off that out here, right? You could never in your right mind just survive off that in any of the 50 states where we're from. So anyways, you guys, again, thanks so much. I appreciate your comments. Your comments literally keep me going too, man, for real. And your messages and stuff like that, and your invitations for beer and coffee and all that. Believe me, I love it, you guys. And if I can, I'll meet you guys. Okay. And again, I might even want you to come on the channel. I'm gonna, you know, I get hit up by a lot of folks, you know, so I also kind of like, I also try to feel you guys out too. You know what I mean? Because, you know, 99.9% of you guys are great men and women. But you know, there are the shit heads. You know what I mean? And I want nothing to do with them. I don't even want anything to do with some gurus. Like, I'm not gonna say a certain name, dude, but like, I don't care for, this person isn't a guru essentially, but like, I also don't like creating more narratives and more of the haves and have nots. So like, there's a video that just came out about like the oh, this is the millionaires club, and I'm like, dude, you're alienating people who are not millionaires. You know what I mean? Even Western folks come in here. Like, I try to appeal, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change no matter how many subscribers I get. I wanted to appeal to the teachers back home who are feeling the crunch. I want to appeal to the to the working class back home who are feeling the crunch. Like, I felt the crunch, you know, like the people who are at the highest tops of society. Like, okay, yeah, you can come here for all your tax reasons and stuff. Cool, whatever. Yeah, that benefits all of us. But you know, and believe me, I know top earners, right? I'm not talking bad about them, but this is a channel to appeal to the middle class who is feeling the crunch, the average guy making the average wage back home who thinks he's nothing, or the average lady in her country thinking back home that she's nothing, like on an economic level. And then if you take some steps, maybe have some skills, maybe start a channel or something like that, you could end up here in a couple of years, right? Maybe not a couple months, but a couple of years, right? Do the residency, then sit on it, then come back, and all that stuff. And then from there, you may live one of the best lives you've ever even imagined, even better than you imagined. Okay, I'm done preaching, you guys. Again, thanks so much. Ryan Aranda, my best life. Che Aranda, baby Aranda, doggy Aranda. We're out, and thanks for watching another video. All right, love you guys. Peace out. How do I stop this thing? Okay, see you guys later.